In this episode, I want to explore one of the more peculiar paradoxes that we face, particularly in business architecture, but enterprise architecture as well. And that's the performance paradox. The oddity here is that we get the best result on any axis that we think about, anyone that concerns us, like financial performance. We get the best result by paying attention to everything except the end result. Real practical example, an athlete. An athlete wants to win a race. But to do that, she's got to pay attention to nutrition, she's got to pay attention to clothing, she's got to pay attention to body awareness, how she's positioning herself, she's got to pay attention to her overall training, she's got to be aware of her own mindset. And even in the actual race, she's got to concentrate on exactly the same as if she was doing performance training. Because if she focuses on too much on the race, she may actually fall back in performance. So she gets the best result by paying attention to everything except the intended end result. Another example is a motor race. Now the same sort of thing applies. You've got all of the concerns about the driver. The driver's really got to focus on the technical skills, on the physical skills, on the mindset, on the training, on the ability to handle endurance, the ability to maintain focus over long periods of time under very stressful conditions. And yet, they're going to pay attention to everything except the end result. They're going to concentrate on it as a race rather than I've got to win the race. The catch with a motor race is there's all the technology. And the same applies to the technology. We've got to focus on all the little bits that make everything work. But the technology can distract us from the fact that it's very much about people as well. So most of the classic tools that we have, the mainstream MBA toolkit, will fail and will cause failure because it focuses on things like targets. Targets can be literally lethal. In the infamous case of the Stafford Hospital, managers demanded that their financial targets had to take priority over healthcare for individual patients. The focus was on the wrong thing, namely the financial targets, rather than the outcome for the patient. And the result was that a lot of patients died. So we win the race by paying detailed attention to everything except the end point of that race. But we also have to be aware of the deeper aim and the end at all times in everything that we're doing. That's the performance paradox. It's a really important paradox that we need to work with throughout all of our architectures.